shows is there. Fighting for freedom, remember there's trouble over land and sea and air. Jerusalem.
Transformers Combiner Wars Megatron has lots of play features, including a gun that can actually shoot. Allison, what do you think about that gun that can actually shoot?
I think it's pretty cool. That's the red rectangle that you press to make it shoot.
Do you want to show them?
Yeah. I'm gonna be careful. Ugh.
Having trouble?
Yeah.
Pull the barrel out a little bit. Oh! There you go.
Except it can shoot even far.
It can shoot even farther.
And this can go back in. Like this. You have to push hard for it to stay in.
There you go. Good job.
Bye-bye.
As you can see, this Leader Class Megatron is very inspired by its Generation 1 appearance. Silver, black, and red. Purple logo, purple trim, black fusion cannon. The joints are pretty good. They're pretty highly articulated. Some ratchets in the hips. This little black cod piece here prevents some forward motion, unfortunately. The knees aren't perfect, but they're pretty good.
And also has instructions.
Yep, and it's got instructions, which will help you learn how to transform it. Transforming it's pretty tricky for those of us who aren't used to these types of things. But as you can see, he's fairly posable. Elbows, shoulders, lots of ratchets. The elbows flow freely. He's got good hands. The fusion cannon can spin up like this. Of course, when you transform it to the tank, it spins like that, which can also look pretty cool in robot mode. Looks like it's mounted to the top of his arm like you might be used to back in the 80s.
And also, it can look like he's going to shoot somewhere else.
Yeah.
A bad guy.
Well, he is the bad guy.
But he calls good guys bad guys, remember?
Oh, he calls good guys bad guys?
Mm-hmm.
Who is his enemy?
I don't know. Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime, that's right. That's his enemy. And unfortunately, we don't have a good Optimus Prime that can face off against him right now because he's a Leader Class toy and he's so much bigger than all the other Optimus Primes that we have. So we'll have to get a big Optimus Prime at some point, won't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But as you can see, they took some inspiration from Generation 1, as I said. They went with a tank motif instead of the pistol because obviously these days you don't want to be selling pistols on toy shelves. You can see they tried to help articulation a little bit with these little flaps at the hip. Give them a little bit more range of motion from side to side, which is good. The sculpting is very detailed, lots of panels, lots of robotic trim, pretty much everywhere, arms, legs, torso. The torso is probably one of my favorite parts because it is so Generation 1 inspired. It's definitely his cartoon look, that rectangular shape, those lines underneath, that Decepticon symbol right in the middle. It's very much inspired by Generation 1, and of course his head as well. His head is purely from 1984, that kind of animated crown over the top, those little chin flaps that come down towards his face. He's got great light piping in the eyes, which I can show you, probably showed you in an image above. I'm doing a little bit different. Instead of doing just a video review or just a pictorial review, I'm kind of combining them into one. We'll see how people like it. I don't know. His transformation is pretty straightforward. I figured it's been a while since I got a Leader Class Transformer, so I was anticipating it being pretty complicated. But I'm happy to say it really wasn't all that complicated. I was able to figure it out pretty quickly. I know Hasbro's been taking steps to try to make these transformations more simplified. I think they've done a good job. What do you have to say, Allison?
Doesn't make that Daddy, and he's also a G.I. Joe and Cobra Commander collector too.
That's right. Yes, I collect G.I. Joe and Cobra Commander toys too.
He collects a lot of those stuff because he likes them.
In the Fusion cannon, you can see they kind of integrate it with the tank. The barrel kind of slides in and goes out. I prefer to keep it shorter in robot mode just because it's a lot less kludgy. He moves a lot more smoothly without it fully extended. If anybody has any complaints, they might not like these treads kind of extending up above his head. I don't care a whole lot. I think it's worth it to get this tank-themed Megatron into my collection. He looks great even with those kind of shoulder pads sticking up above. And obviously I don't even know where else they would go. If you want a purely G1 inspired Megatron, I guess you could try to figure out a way to remove those and keep them in robot mode. I don't really know if that's a thing with Transformers collectors or not. I know there's customizing obviously, but I don't know if they actually sacrifice the transformation in order to do that. I'm not fully immersed in the Transformers world enough to know that, but the figure is very, very cool. I like him a lot. He's got movable, workable treads on the back, as you can see.
So he can move?
So he can really move. Yep, they're really rubber. So in tank mode, he moves very realistically. You can see the paneling is all the way around. There's lots of little nubs, little holes, little tabs and slots to help him transform into tank mode and stay in tank mode. I'm really impressed by kind of how smooth the transformation is and how decently he stays in both modes. Tank mode isn't perfect, I will say that. He does kind of fall apart. There's some panel separation in a few different places. The little black codpiece, for lack of a better term, folds up to kind of hold the top turret together, and it's not flawless. There's some gaps, and it's a little bit of an issue, as you can see in some of the pictures above, but he's still a very, very cool toy.
And also, this is Daddy's workshop. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Allie.
Allie, that's Justin.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm experimenting here. You'll have to forgive me if this is kind of a jerky introduction to my video reviews. I'm definitely trying something new, trying to get as much detail on the figure as possible, enlisting the aid of my 5-year-old to kind of help me figure some of this stuff out.
And he might want to do this again.
We'll see.
I said you might.
Yes, I might.
And when
Now I'm going to transform him into tank mode. Try to show it basically how it's done. It's not too complicated, as I said. It's pretty straightforward. You'll have to forgive me if I miss a couple steps or if I screw something up. I'm still kind of a Transformers rookie. I mean, I've been buying them off and on since 1984, but I know engineering-wise things have changed quite a bit in the past 30 years. So it definitely isn't your typical Transformer from back in the day. Allie, come on.
This under my band-aid.
They don't need to see your Band-Aid.
Yes, they do. Look, Daddy, they do need to see my bandage.
They do need to see your bandage. Yeah. So his arms fold down. His little codpiece thing swings up. His chest piece swings back the other way.
And he's not like the best, but he's pretty great.
You can rotate the cannon like that. You want to try to keep this piece down low because as you fold this up, and the cannon actually becomes the middle, you see this little tab there, this slot there, it kind of hooks in. There's a couple different tabs to kind of keep that all secure. And then you want to extend the barrel up on top there. His feet just fold up, a couple little ratchets like that, and then they swing around. In the body of the tank.
And he can shoot his gun even when he's a color robot, he can shoot it. Whenever he wants.
And we've got a couple different tabs here. You can see a slot and a slot and these two matching tabs. So they lock in place on both sides. Here's what I was talking about with that little codpiece bit that doesn't stay on real well. Kind of folds and locks in there. It's not perfect, but it's okay, I guess. Then lastly, these two little tank treads. There's more tabs and slots.
And this is the Bell family. Bye-bye.
Tabs and slots.
I said this is the Bell family. Bye-bye. I said that.
And there's tank mode. As you can see, it's pretty quick, pretty smooth transformation. If I can do it that quickly, pretty much anybody can. If I have any complaints about tank mode, the turret is not rotatable really. This little piece in back prevents it from doing any rotating. If you really want to rotate it that badly, you can fold this down, and then there is some ways you can spin that around. But if that's locked in, this turret is stuck in place, and it's about as good as it gets. So you can see the treads do really move. The fusion cannon's intact in here. It's got this little button-activated rocket launcher. Hey, Allie, you want to demonstrate the rocket launcher again? Woo! There it goes. Good job.
And you can sometimes pretend that it's his sword. And this is his holder for his sword sometimes. Instead of his gun.
I have to say, I love the silver detailing. It's very glossy, very shiny, it looks very new, which I really like. In his tank mode, you can see he's got the Decepticon symbol right there as well.
And you can move him while he's trying to shoot.
Yeah.
And it's not that easy to move him on something soft.
Right, and you can see all these layered panels right here, all this armored trim. You see some red highlights here and there. They colored them very strategically, so you can see the nice trim both in tank and robot mode. A lot of very good design elements in this vehicle. It's really a lot of fun, and even if it wasn't a Generation 1 inspired Megatron, it would still be a very fun toy overall. I know there's an Armada repaint and retool out there too. I don't think I'll be picking that up. But this is just a fantastic new Transformer toy. Hopefully everybody can kind of get a chance to buy it in stores. It's definitely worth the purchase. It's one of the most fun Transformers toys I've had in a while. I don't collect Transformers devotedly. I just kind of dip into it here and there, but Combiner Wars has pretty much sucked me in. I've got this Megatron. I've got all the Wave 1 Combiner Wars Deluxes. I've got some of the Legends. I've got Wave 2 ones on pre-order. So I'm hooked right now. So if I'm hooked, other people should be hooked. It's a great looking toy.